Welcome to today's lesson for the Social Media Marketing Agency Test Group. Here's the conversation I want to have with you. It's about the numbers games of getting client, the number game of getting client. And one of the biggest problems I see with people in any business is that they come into it with a perception that everybody they talk to is going to be interested in working with them or buying their product, or that because what you can offer them is so valuable that everybody will see that value. Well, very important part of this program is that you learn to adjust your mentality so that you do not think like this. The way I want you to think about this new business venture, or for some of you who already have done it, a new way of going after social media marketing agency clients, I want you to think of it as you as a gold miner. And there's a lot of just rocks everywhere, but only a little bit of gold. And every good gold miner in the California gold rush, I'm here in San Diego, when the California gold rush started, people moved from all the way from the East Coast, from New York State, and they came across in wagons and all this, and they came to the gold mines. And their expectation was they would have to stake out a claim and spend a year, maybe 2 years. Even the most impatient gold miner did not think that they would get gold on their first trip into the mountain. And so when they went into the mountain the first day and they started chipping away on the rocks and no gold appeared, they went home happy because they were making progress. Every rock they chipped that didn't show gold was one less place to look, and it gave them opportunities elsewhere. And I had a friend who was super confident with women. He was a single guy, an actor in Hollywood, and he was traveling always around the world. And most guys are very shy. If they see a woman they're attracted to at a restaurant or a coffee shop, they won't walk up to them and talk to them because they're afraid of getting rejected or various reasons, right? Well, this friend of mine, he had no fear, and he would go, and he was a good-looking guy. A lot of women would talk to him, and he'd get their phone number. But I asked him once, because I noticed that a lot of women said no to him, and I said to him, what's your percentage of women you talk to that are actually, it goes somewhere, or they give you a phone number, or they even give you the time of the day? And he said, 50%. Now, keep in mind, this guy was one of the best, at talking to women I've ever met, ever in my whole life. Okay, so this guy was very good. And even his rate of just getting a phone number or having a conversation was only 50%. So how does that apply to the social media marketing agency? How does the gold miner analogy apply? You're now going to start talking to people. You're going to talk to small businesses that have the potential to pay you $1,000 to $10,000 a month to manage their social media and internet marketing. Well, you're going to have to be a gold miner. You're going to have to know that everyone you can help won't necessarily understand that you can help them, or they're tied up financially. They just don't have the funds. Just like my friend had no problem talking to women and them saying, not interested, and he never got hurt. Now, there's a punchline to this that I learned from him. I didn't just learn from him that 50%, that 50% said no to him and he could still stay confident, but I asked him, how do you stay confident with 50%? That's a lot. 1 out of every 2 people you talk to not wanting to talk to you. And he said, Ty, I'm just looking for the people who have good taste. So what he had done is rewired his brain to see a rejection, not a rejection of what he was offering, but as an assessment of their ability to make judgments, meaning they weren't good at judging, because he felt like if they were good at reading people, they would know he's a quality guy. Same thing with your service. As you go through this program, 4 months, you get certified, you fill out every lesson, do the homework, pass the final quiz to be certified. You learned all this cutting edge stuff. I want you to see yourself as the prize. That you are the gold, right, that you can offer. You are the skilled gold miner. Now, I also want you to see about 1 or 2 or maybe 3 out of every 10 businesses you talk to. I want you to see them as gold. Only 2, 3 out of 10. Your rate of closing people into paying customers, if you're doing it right, should be 2, 3, or 4 out of 10. 20, 30, maybe 40%, but no higher. Now, some people would say, Ty, why would you not want a higher rate? Well, if you're closing 60% of people you're talking to, you're not talking to enough people. You see, you're actually limiting your income by not talking to enough people. Only certain businesses have the money, have the judgment, have the vision to appreciate and be willing to pay you for what you're doing. In fact, most businesses, the reason they're struggling, you know why? It's not just because they don't know social media and internet marketing and you can help them. It's because they have bad judgment. And so for that reason, you have to feel confident that the people who reject you, sometimes it's for valid reasons. They know how to do it themselves. That's a very rare one. But sometimes you'll run into businesses, their son or a friend of theirs knows social media and internet marketing, so we'll do it for them. You'll run into some people that want to do it, but literally are cash strapped. Very common for small businesses. You'll run into people who are cocky, who think that the old way they've been doing it will work fine forever. There's some people who are stubborn. You name it. There's every freaking variation out there of people, and only a few out of every 10 you talk to are a piece of gold. So you're the gold, they're the gold. You're the gold miner, they're the vein of gold you're trying to find. There's a lot of rocks. There's a lot of rocks. And the more you go into it with this mentality, guess what? You become very successful. You become like my friend, who was very successful. In fact, he was able to accomplish what 99.999% of people couldn't accomplish. A happy approach on people not always being interested in him. And you must have this thick skin. You must. If you're a sensitive person, I want you to spend the next 4 months really being aware and okay with not everybody loving you. Sigmund Freud, one of the founders of modern psychology, said at the root of most human insecurity is the fear of the loss of love. And this permeates into all areas of life, especially into entrepreneurs' perspectives, where, of course, consciously you're not wanting these businesses to, quote, love you, right? But it's triggering a primitive, in fact, in the back of our brain, it's called the brain stem, you have primitive impulses. Those are the impulses that if you put your hand on a fire, you quickly pull it away, right? You don't have to do this part of your brain up here, neocortex and, premedial frontal cortex, what is it, PMFC or something like that. Those parts of your brain are much more advanced and take time. This part, this back part of your brain, this brain stem, medulla, some of those parts, they make split-second emotional feelings, decisions on how to think and how to perceive things. And if you allow this back part of your brain, the primitive, to see every person who doesn't sign up and pay you $1,000 to $10,000 as a mistake, as a failure, you will not be able to make it in this program. You will not be able to make it as an entrepreneur. And I just want to be blunt about that, because some people will tell you that, you can still, there's ways to get around life where you never get rejected. No, the only way that you can never get rejected is always play it safe and talk to one person a year that, your best friend refers their dad's business to you. So you'll have one customer a year paying you $1,000 to $10,000 a month. On average, let's say $1,500. So you make $1,500 a month. If you're doing it full time, that's not enough. Part time, maybe, if you want to keep your day job, which is fine in this program. But if you want to be able to really go out there and grow a business, the goal of this program is to get you to 6 figures. For some of you who have upgraded into the accelerator programs, the money, persuasion, and entrepreneur level, those will help you grow to 7 figures. If you haven't talked to your concierge on how to upgrade, you can. We have some other courses, but this course is a complete course on how you can get 5 to 6 customers paying you on average $1,500. That's $8,000 to $9,000 a month. That's a 6-figure revenue in the first. I tell most people, Peter Drucker says 18 months. Usually success takes around 18 months. So within 18 months of you starting, now within 4 months, like we said at the beginning, you should have your first paying customer. That's one of the goals, you getting certified and having your first paying customer. The goal then, the next goal is the next 18 months from the day you started this program. So you go through 4 months. That means within the next 14 months, you acquire 5 to 6 steady gold mine type customers who are happily paying you on average $1,500. Some of them might be paying you $10,000. Some might be paying $5,000. Some might only be paying $1,000, but should average to, $1,000 to $2,000 a month. You get 5 or 6 great clients. You're making $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month. You could work from home. You could be like I'm doing, traveling, be Airbnb-ing. You could be making money and having fun. But the foundation of this, no matter what anyone tells you, you could buy any book on sales, you could buy any book on marketing, and they could tell you, no, you start a social media marketing agency, people are going to just line up. Well, some people will start lining up. They'll start getting referrals from past customers, but you are now a gold miner, and you are looking, like my friend, for people who have good judgment. You are looking for people who realize that you are the prize, that they should be pursuing you. And that doesn't mean you have to be cocky. You don't have to walk in and be an a-hole and be like, yo, I'm the prize, do business with me, sign this contract, monthly contract. No, that's going to turn people off. At the same time, so that's one extreme. You don't have to be on the other extreme where you're walking on eggshells and like, oh, please do this, I really need you. Because they're going to think, if this service is really good, why do you need me? You should be able to get lots of businesses. And the answer is you will be able to, especially if you understand the numbers game. So let's say you can close, let's say you're starting out at this. So you can only close 10 or 20%. That's great. That means every 5 to 10 serious small businesses that you talk to, remember, they have to be qualified. So if you just go talk to businesses that are making $100 a month profit, little kids have with a lemonade stand or struggling cash-strapped businesses, those don't count as real conversations because they couldn't say yes even if they wanted to. But if you start talking, and we'll be teaching you how to know who's qualified. For example, if you're going after the doctor niche, most doctors are making great incomes. Most dentists are making great incomes. Restaurants, depending, you can usually tell by just looking at the restaurant if they have a budget. But as you begin to be able to read potential in small businesses, you will then know who's qualified, that you can actually do the social media marketing internet evaluation for them for free and not be wasting your time. Because you're going to do that free evaluation, which is going to show how much you know. It's going to show how much they're missing. It's going to show how much potential. And when you talk to 10 businesses that are qualified, that had the means to pay you, and you do the social media marketing evaluation for 10 of them, that you should be able to get 1 to 2 of them to start out. So that's great. So if you want 5 clients, you just got to find 50 qualified businesses, and you'll be learning. Don't be overwhelmed if you're not sure how to do that. Even if you live in a small town, because remember, you don't only have to do local businesses. You can start branching out with the internet. You can contact businesses all over the world. But we'll be showing you how to do that, how to use referrals, how to go outside of your local area, how to use the internet to search for customers. But let's just assume you live in a medium-sized town. There's enough businesses. Most small towns have tens of thousands. Most medium-sized, I should say, have tens of thousands of small businesses. Now, if you live in a town, 400 people, it's probably only a couple businesses, so you're going to have to branch out from there. Just remember, one little thing I'll say to you for those of you in really small towns. If you grew up in a really small town, people might know and trust you already. You might only need 3 customers because they might be willing to do the higher price packages for $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000. So it's not always quantity in your search. It's a numbers game. It's a thick skin game. You're not going to go out. I don't want you to think when I say thick skin that you have to go out and get embarrassed and rejected nonstop, okay? Most of the businesses that reject you are not going to do it in a mean way. In fact, they're going to say things like, you know what, I'd love to do this right now, I just don't have the budget. So, I want to talk about one last thing. The exciting thing about talking to 10 businesses and only getting one or two is that it's the social media marketing and internet marketing evaluation you're going to do for free for them is going to be so insightful and so interesting that a lot of them are going to say no for now. But you're going to build up a pipeline of people who are going to start coming to you 1 month, 2 months, 1 year later and say, hey, I realize my marketing isn't good. I wasn't ready when I talked to you back in January. It's November. I'm ready. And so it's going to start happening. And this happens to everybody who's an entrepreneur or in sales. The beginning starts out a little hard because you're talking to people and not all the people are ready. But over time, it's like pushing a boulder up the hill. It's hard at the beginning, but eventually it gets to the top of that boulder. Critical mass is reached, and the boulder starts to roll on its own, and it's no longer hard. Why? It's no longer hard because you have built up a bank of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 businesses that said no or maybe at the beginning who now start randomly calling you, or maybe we'll show you how to do a follow-up sequence where if they say no today, you follow up every 30 days, and I'll show you how to do a little newsletter, is what I used to do in one of my first businesses. And you just send it to them once a month, all the people you've ever talked to, all the potential businesses. You talk about what you're doing, you give case studies, you give them a little bit of tips on how they can do their business better based on what you're doing with other clients. And guess what? If you build up an email list of 500 businesses or 300 businesses, once a month, one of them picks up the phone or emails you back and says, hey, let's talk more. This was interesting. I forgot about you, but now I'm remembering. Okay, so I want you to get excited. I want you to realize you're the gold miner. You're the gold, but you're also only looking for the gold. Every rock in the gold mine isn't what you need. Every business you approach, you don't even want. Some of them you're going to weed out because they're rude people, they're stingy people. You get the feeling they're dishonest. You might do the work and they don't pay you, even though we're going to show you how to get paid up front. But still, you don't want to get screwed over. You don't want to work with dishonest small business owners, and there's some of those out there, just like the population at large is full of people who are good and people who will take advantage of you. So I hope that you'll understand that this is exciting. This perspective, this mental shift is really the fundamental of you becoming an entrepreneur and making a social media marketing agency, an internet marketing agency successful. So, homework below. I want you to write out how you deal with rejection in the past. Be honest. Be brutally honest. Maybe you've done some sales and some door-to-door. And how your perspective is going to be going forward. Leave that as a comment below. And you can just summarize a lot of what we talked about. As you summarize is really how you will remember this stuff and commit it to memory. Okay? Thanks so much. I will see you on the next lesson.